Hey guys, it's Amber. I am going to do a craft with me video. Not necessarily a tutorial. All I'm doing is making this envelope here, which is a fairly simple, straightforward envelope that I am using an old envelope from some, stationery craft set that I had gotten at some point. So I just unglued it and I'm using this as the template. And the paper that I'm using is some pages that I printed some Etsy printables off of onto. Bought some Etsy printables online, downloaded those, printed those onto some kind of lightweight cardstock. And unfortunately, I don't know if you can see the lines in these images. Let's see if there's one. That one, it can really show up. And you can see it there pretty easily. That one has it. This one printed funny. I just printed it landscape or portrait instead of landscape, or vice versa. And this has the lines on the back side. So I just took some pages that I wanted to use, but I wanted to not waste these. I don't want to use these as pages in my journal because I really don't like the lines and I don't like how these turned out. But I think they can be used as envelopes. This one was also one that had kind of a funny print issue, but I think as an envelope it turns out fine. So I'm just laying this down on my page and then drawing a line around it. And then I'm just going to be cutting it out. So I figured that if you have a craft project and you want some person talking in the background who is crafting with you as you work on a project that you're doing, whether it is also a paper craft or needle craft or painting, whatever your project is. I know that sometimes I just enjoy to watch these videos and get ideas, get inspired. Sometimes watching somebody else craft helps me when I'm in a little bit of a creative slump or motivational slump. Sometimes watching somebody else helps kind of get me excited for it. And other times it's just, I don't know, kind of enjoyable. It's kind of trance-like. These printables, I can't remember the name of the shop that I got these from, but I believe the person who owns the shop, I have it written down, or I have them all stored in separate folders on my computer and I could look. So maybe before I post this video, I will look it up and then I can put her name or the name of the shop in the video description. That's what I'll do. But I know that their whole shop, I don't know what their gender is. The whole shop is like digital printables for junk journaling. And a lot of their images are of vintage wallpaper. And that's what these are. This is like a scan of, I think it's like a scan of some actual vintage wallpaper that they printed out. So it looks a little grungy, a little, dated, which I like. Because I'm going for a vintage 50s, 60s look in my journals. So I bought several of her packets or her, I don't know, digital kits. I was actually doing an 80s journal and I was looking for 80s wallpaper and I found these sets when I was doing my 80s searching and I went ahead and purchased these. And on the back, so this is the vintage, I think it's called like grungy vintage wallpaper or something like that. And this was something else. This was from a different kit. I kind of have to turn these. This doesn't fit if you go straight up and down. I'm going to take this out from underneath here. That will help me write more evenly too. I can't just fit it straight up and down. I have to put it at a diagonal. And I know that there are what is it called? Die cuts for envelopes, but I don't think my Big Shot can fit a die cut this big. I have a die cut for a smaller envelope, but I don't want one that's that small. I like the envelopes to be a little bigger. Whoops. So I just use this. And I know there's also, I've seen several people on various YouTube videos. They have like I want to say it's like, is it Creative Memories or one of the larger brand names? There is like a envelope, I don't know, template cutter thing that seems pretty. I've been tempted to purchase it, but it's so expensive. I don't think it's Creative Memories. I think it's like, what's the other big brand that's out there? Again, my brain isn't working too well tonight. I'm a psychotherapist, and I spend my whole day very lovingly. I love my job. I'm very happy to do this, and I'm very happy to hold space for people who are going through hard things. But sometimes at the end of the day, I just like have lost the ability to form sentences. I'm verbally like tapped out. And my ability to solve complex, challenging problems is also it's gone, depleted. So I don't know why I'm choosing to do a video where I am talking if I don't have verbal skills at this point. I'm going to use my littler scissors to trim out these little corners. That'll be easier. Yep, much easier. I think I'm going to assemble these two that I just cut out. Just to prevent this video from getting super boring, I keep these scraps. I cut these up into smaller pieces so I can keep these scraps. And what I do with my scraps is I store them in one of these Dollar Tree envelopes, plastic envelopes. And I store the scraps like per project. So I kind of pick a theme of colors and prints, and as I have scraps, I put them into one bag like this that has the various ends and cuttings from different pockets or pages that I've used, so that if I want to make, some tabs or use some of this in collaging or various things, it's all in this one package for this journal that I'm working on. So all those are associated with this journal. Okay, I am going to look for the side that has the pencil marks, and that's going to be the interior because I don't want to bother with erasing those. And I just get a ruler and I line up the edges right here, those marks, and then I just bend that up a little bit. Okay. And then I use this little tool. I'm not even sure where I got this or what this came from. But it's just you can use really anything to crease those lines down nice and neat. Okay, and then as I glue, I have this piece of like, not cellophane, but plastic covering that was on some sort of packaging. And I've cut it down to fit right inside of there so that I can glue. Glue that down and not worry about the glue getting stuck on the back page of the envelope. And while I'm pressing that down, I'm going to apply the glue here and here. Make sure that my plastic is pushed all the way down to the end so that I can fold that up. And then I use this tool again to sort of push the glue out towards the edge. And then I learned the using another piece of plastic to white up glue trick from Lee Min on Lace Covered Skies here on YouTube. She is one of my favorite junk journalers, and she's actually the person who I first discovered junk journaling from on TikTok like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and I was riveted, absolutely riveted. So there, that's done. I'm gonna leave that plastic in there for a moment to let it dry. But I am going to go ahead and do this one next. And actually, I want this to show. So I'm gonna get an eraser and fuss with erasing the pencil marks. My printer that I've had for several years it's been a decent printer just for, you know, like my office work. But once I started doing some junk journaling and realized that I wanted to use some printables or some digital kits, I started realizing that my printer was not that great for printing digital kits. I don't use a lot of scrapbook paper. Any scrapbook paper that I do have has been given to me secondhand, or I have found in thrift stores. I just don't find the types of scrapbook paper that I like. And so it's like doing digitals, printing digitals for me has felt like the thing that I cheat on when I do junk journaling. I really kind of have this whole thing about using only secondhand materials besides glue, and some of the tools that I've purchased, like maybe my, you know, my Big Shot. Although I did look for ages for a secondhand Big Shot. And then as soon as I bought one, I found one in a thrift store. I was so mad about that. But digital prints are kind of the only thing that I feel a little bit like, yeah, I wish I could find these prints somewhere out in the wild. But I've kind of gotten over it. But they felt really expensive on my old printer to print out digitals. It was expensive. And I saw how many people were using digitals in their junk journals, and I was like, how are they affording the ink for that? That just seems so expensive and so, I don't know. I just felt like, I mean, I didn't judge anyone. I just was like, damn, I'm poor. You know, like, I think it was coming out to like, I don't know, 50 cents a page each time I would print using the print cartridges that were in my printer, my old printer. And so, but I was like, but I'm going to print out a few digitals for these junk journals I'm working on. I'm making these for a friend who's moving and wanted to have a gift for her. And while I was printing these out, I noticed these lines that the printer was creating. And so I ran a bunch of tests on my printer and cleaned the like printer heads over and over and over. Changed bought new ink cartridges, brand new ones that were like on brand, the brand name print cartridges. Tried all these things to see if I could get rid of the lines. And every time I printed out like the maintenance check, there was like one line that was missing, like it wouldn't in the blue ink. And so I finally figured out that, oh, the printer's broken. Like it's not about the ink. It's not about like clogged print heads. It's not about the paper. I tried all different types of paper. And I finally just said the printer's broken. But fortunately, the smart version of me several years ago, when I bought the printer, had purchased a what is it? A warranty? And so I got all of my money back. Or I bought insurance. Oh, yeah, I bought insurance. See, this is why you want that glue, that plastic in the back, because the glue's spilling out and going onto that plastic. So I got to return my printer, and with that, I did some research and was able to did a research, found out what like other junk journalers were saying were the best printers out there, which ones they were liking, which ones they were saying to avoid. I looked into like the printer, like the ink cartridge, I don't know, memberships where you get free new ink sent to you when your printer runs out as much as you want. I don't like doing this type of research. It's not like my jam, but I figured I needed to get a new printer. I'm going to get one that I really like and one that is cost effective. One that won't make me feel so guilty about printing digital kits that I purchased from Etsy, because the digital kits aren't expensive. And I get almost all of my printer paper and my cardstock, I get that secondhand. I find it in thrift stores. I buy it when I see it. So I feel like I'm sort of barely skirting my own rules around doing almost entirely secondhand junk journaling items. So did my research, and this week I got a new Epson 4800 EcoTank. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't, I've printed out maybe 15 pages so far. Let me see if I can find a copy of something I printed out. Yeah, here's one of the pages that I printed out on that. Oh, and I think I have a copy of what I printed out before my old one for comparison. Let me see if I can find that same paper printed out before on my old printer. Can you see the difference in the color? And there's these lines going through. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's a lot brighter on this side. And I don't know if you can see the lines running through that. Okay, maybe not, but that is why I got an EcoTank, because I can see the difference. And hopefully, from what I'm hearing, you can print out so many more copies. And I think they said it works out to being like 2 cents a copy for ink costs. And another bonus with that, in case you're considering getting a printer, I found it very, very easy to set up. I am not necessarily great at setting up, I don't know, computer stuff. I'm not like completely, you know, computer literate, but I have found that getting computers connected to my Wi-Fi, like I always want to wirelessly print. My printer's a little far away from my computer, so I don't just connect them with a cord from my computer to my printer. So I have to set it up wirelessly. And like getting the computer to detect the printer, getting the printer to connect to Wi-Fi, I just, in the past, has been an ordeal, like a freaking ordeal. And getting it to connect, because it's a printer and a scanner. It has a fax, but I don't use the fax. But that has all just been like, boil me down, like reduce me to tears. Difficult. And this one was incredibly easy. It came with an app that you can download on your phone, and then it just prompts you on your phone on what to do. It was super easy. And I was kind of shocked by that, because I was very much dreading when I was like, oh, I've got to get a new printer. I don't want to go through that process again. I hate that process. My old printer was a brother. So far so good. High reviews for the Epson 4800 EcoTank. I have that little sound, if you heard it, is the sound of my Amazon Nook. And I watch Netflix or Amazon Prime, Hulu. Oh, there's a Hulu show I need to watch. I actually have a friend who I went to graduate school with who started acting in the past several years. She lives in LA. That's where I went to grad school, was in LA. And she started acting, and she just posted today on her Facebook page that she some behind the scenes footage, and it's a wrap launching video for a movie that she is in, her first feature film. So I told her I would watch that. I don't remember what the name of it is, but I'll go look at that. Maybe after I finish up with this, I will turn that show on. And it's interesting, she said, oh, I forgot. She said to me, when a lot of people are like, congratulations, that's exciting. I'll definitely watch it. And I posted it, and she responded on my post that, ooh, please PM me after you do. I'd really like to, talk to you about it and get your opinion. And I don't know why she would want my opinion about anything film related, unless it is like, it's about mental health. And a lot of people then, well, I can understand why she might want my opinion as a mental health, professional on I don't know how they handled the mental health in the character. I don't know. But I don't know why she'd want my opinion. I'm certainly not an actor. And she didn't say that to anybody. I looked and saw if that was something she was saying to everybody. And it wasn't. So I'm curious. And I'm super excited for her. She is an amazing woman who has done some really incredibly gutsy things in her life. And she has been on social media as an influencer for a while. She started making her own jewelry. She was like, I don't know, like Forbes top 50 single women. I don't know, like it was, she's become a celebrity, but doing it in a way that I really admire. Okay, let's look at what we've made so far. These are really, really cute. Yeah? I really like them. I think I'm going to call it a night with y'all. I might go on to make some more of these by myself, but thanks for crafting with me. I hope you found this relaxing or inspiring, and I will see y'all next. Thanks. Bye-bye.